Hello, and welcome to my 2024 writing wrapped and my 2025 writing goals. We're going to be in Notion today, so I'm doing this whole setup so you can see what I'm doing on my computer. So here's my to-do list for today. We're going to review my 2024 writing tracker, which I started in March, so I'm missing a couple months from this year, but this is way more data than I had in previous years. That's going to be super helpful in setting goals for 2025, so I'm very excited about that. So we're going to look at all of that stuff. I do also write fan fiction. I'm not going to stop writing fan fiction just because I'm also writing a novel. I love it. I've been doing that over 10 years now. It's fun, and you're having a community together with people about the show, movie, book, whatever that you like. So that's really fun. Everything I know about writing, I learned from writing fan fiction. And it's a way for me to keep practicing when I'm like stuck or not feeling inspired by original writing. So I'm going to keep doing that, and I do have goals around that because there's certain stories I really, really want to write. After we look at my 2024 stats, we're going to create 2025 goals, or I'm going to, and you're going to watch me. And then we're going to reset up my writing tracker page for 2025. So that is what we're doing today. So step one, let's look at the writing tracker. So this is the page in Notion I created so I could feel motivated to keep writing. This originally was like a streak counter, but I have since changed it to like days since a writing session. Words written 2024. So my goal at the beginning of the year, Brandon Sanderson says you're quote unquote, like, he says you're a real writer when you can write 100,000 words a year. If you're writing science fiction and fantasy, it's a reasonable thing because your books are going to be longer. But anyway, so that's where that number comes from down here, the 100,000 words a year. I got halfway, so I'm excited to use this data that's in here to set more reasonable goals so it's not quite so unattainable. Looks like 60% of the writing for 2024 was fan fiction. I'm impressed that I got 40% original fiction in there because I did not write on the novel for most of the year. Like, I started writing something in January because I was applying for a writing program I didn't get into, and then I didn't write anything on the novel until like 6 months, like halfway through the year. So it's really impressive. Considering years previous to this, I had 0% original fiction because I just wasn't doing that and I didn't care about that. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So total for 2024, I wrote 52,249 words. That's pretty good. That's awesome. That's better than nothing. Like, that's really cool. I'm really proud of that number. There are 90 total writing sessions, including original and fan fiction, for 2024. And I started recording this in March, so this doesn't include writing sessions before then. And in January, I was writing on the novel. It's just incomplete data. I'm really, really proud of these numbers. This is really cool. And I'm really curious to see how it will go in 2025 when I'm going to be a little bit more, not regimented, but a little bit more committed to having specific writing sessions. For 2024, I kind of just wrote when I felt like it on whatever I felt like writing. For 2025, I'm going to have specific calendar time blocks for specifically writing the novel Space Heist, and for specifically writing fan fiction, and for specifically writing the newsletter. So scrolling down on the page, I have some reference links that I use, like my writing ritual. I started this novel writing sprints page that I have up here that we'll talk about in a second. Before I started this specific page to do overall goals, we're going to tweak that as part of goal setting for 2025. This link here is the public page about my novel in progress. This is the live page about my novel that I'm currently working on that you can check out right now in the description. This novel is working title called Space Heist, and it's about a group of misfits that were created using alien DNA through illegal experiments that are working together to steal stuff from a space station owned by bioscience CEO who's super rich and who was responsible for the experience. And they're trying to steal stuff from her, and so they can do their thing. So that's what the book's about. It's really cool. And I'm planning to, when it's done, and in a workable state that I feel comfortable with, I'm going to self-publish it serially on my Patreon. So definitely, if this is appealing to you, please take a few seconds to follow me on Patreon for free. You will get updates on my writing journey over there, research that I'm doing for the book, and you'll be the first to know about my publishing schedule over there. And also, if you're interested in more on my writing journey about this, follow me here on YouTube because I'm going to be posting about it as I'm going. So that's what's going on there. That's what the novel is and what I'm working on when I say original writing in this tracker. So this is the log of all of the sessions in total for the year that I recorded, and I have it filtered by original and by fanfic. So if we scroll down, this is all of the sessions, and basically this database powers all the trackers up here. There's some hidden columns, or what does Notion call these? Properties. There's some hidden properties in this database that I don't have visible that are basically being filtered up here into different things. And every time I go to record a writing session, I just click one of these buttons, and that button updates all the hidden filters, so I don't have to do it every time. I just click a button, and it's good to go. So that's my 2024. I'm very, very proud of this, and I'm really curious to see how 2025 is going to go. So if we go back here, we're going to check off all of these things that I just did. So now we're going to create 2025 goals based on the 2024 data. For 2025, right now, I have 2 original writing sessions a week I'm committed to. And then 1 fan fiction writing block a week. That's just so I remember to have fun and not just throw myself at a wall in the novel. Trying to write when I'm uninspired does not work for me. I can't do that. And this also doesn't mean I can't write outside of these writing sessions. This is just like the bare minimum of what I want to do. And also the fanfiction one is optional. If I don't feel like doing it that week, at that time, I don't have to do it. This is more required to me because I can't write the novel if I don't write the novel, right? There will probably more than likely be more writing sessions outside of those things, especially when I'm excited about a particular project. But this is kind of going to be the average week for right now that I have set up in my schedule. For taking the average of writing sessions for a reasonable estimate of the goal. So instead of just saying, hey, let's do 100,000 words for fun, let's take a look at the numbers and project reasonably so that I'm not killing myself. So this view right here is all of 2024. I'm going to just tab over to the original filter here. And the cool thing about Notion, there's a lot of things I wish the databases did, but one cool thing it does is you can hit the bottom of a column and there's all these different functions that you can calculate. I wish it had a little bit more spreadsheet functions, but the cool thing is I can go here and hit the average. This is the average word count for all of the writing sessions I did on my original novel that's currently working title Space Heist for 2024. So this is per writing session. This is not per hour or day. This is just any time I sat down to write it. Some of these sessions were longer than others. But sometimes I can write 3,000 words in 2 hours really easily if I'm at a place where I'm not thinking about too hard. That's so funny. That day I wrote 4 words. That's hilarious. I was probably editing something. And figuring out structure. This is the average per writing session. And if I am counting my commitment to writing by writing sessions for 2025, this is really useful information. So it's basically 683 words on average per writing session. So let me open a calculator. I have 2 writing sessions a week. Oh, wait, I want 683. So if I assume that I'm doing 2 writing sessions a week at 683 words times 2. So that's 1366, 1,366 words a week if I'm doing both of those writing sessions every single week. Obviously, this is an average, right? So there's going to be times where I might write 4 words or 79 words, but there will be times where I'm writing 2,000 words or 3,000 words too. So this is just projecting. This is not saying that I have to hit 683 words every single writing session. I'm just trying to get an estimate so I can set a goal. So if it's 1366 a week times 52 weeks, right? That would be 71,000 words, which conveniently is my writing goal, word count goal for the novel, for my first draft of the novel. So I think I'm going to set that for my 2025 goal for my novel writing. 71,032 words for 2025 for the novel. So I kind of want to do a benchmark for the first 2 months of the year, just because I'm planning now on a seasonal level for my personal planning instead of monthly planning, because setting up a monthly spread every month is annoying. It takes a lot of work and I don't use it. And I will explain that more in my planning system video that will be up pretty soon after this one. Anyway, so to me, winter ends in March when March starts. So we're just going to do, for the first 2 months of the year, I'm just going to do a rough estimate. I don't know how many weeks are in January and February. But if we do this weekly number, 1366, times 4, and then times 2, that's 10,928. I can definitely, that seems like a thing I can do. I can definitely hit 10,928 words before March. Absolutely. That seems very reasonable for January and February. I can totally do that. That means I need to do writing sessions the first week of January though, and I haven't done any of them. So I need to do that. Anyway, so I like this. This is cool. This is for Space Heist. Okay. Next, we're going to look at fanfiction. This one is just going to be for fun to see what happens. Not as important of a goal as hitting the writing goals for my novel, obviously. So if I go down here, I still have some on here. I'm going to change this really quick to the average. 528 words for writing sessions for fanfiction is the average. So 528 times 1, because there's only one writing session a week. So 528 times 52 is 27,456. This is so interesting because I definitely wrote more fan fiction than original fiction, but it's actually if we're not looking at the percentage, it's the fan fiction edged out original fiction by 10,000 words. It's not as far of a distance as I thought it was going to be when I started this video, or when I started this tracker in March. I'm going to write this number down over here. So 27,456 fan fiction words for 2025. Okay. And then let's do that again, math. So if I divide it by 52, get back to the base number, and then we're just going to do times 4 times 2. So that's 4,224 words for January and February. And I'm just doing this because I think this is fun to look at math-wise. But again, this is less of a priority than the original writing for obvious reasons. So the other thing I want to do is add a nonfiction goal, because I have a newsletter that I'm going to be writing once a month called Practicing Optimism, and you can sign up for that in the description. It's all about looking at the world in a way that we can solve our problems instead of thinking that the world will inevitably always be worse. So if that sounds interesting to you and you want to practice optimism with me, you can sign up in the description. But anyway, so I need to set a writing goal for this too. I'm just going to clear these out. I want to set a nonfiction goal for the newsletter. So this is like interesting because I don't have the data for this. I don't know the average length of what a newsletter is. It's just that I want to write it once a month. And I have one writing session a week. Let me try something. So if we add up the original writing number, 71,000 number, plus the fanfiction number, 27,456, that's 98,000. So that's really close to the 100,000 goal, right? Should I set 2,000 for the newsletter for the year? That seems very attainable. Like I would hit it by March with the 2 newsletters, because the current newsletter draft that I have that I'm sending on January 5th is 1,000 words right now. That just doesn't feel realistic. I want it to be a realistic goal. If every newsletter, at least the essay part about optimism in our world, is 1,000 words, which that's the part that's going to take effort and I want to reward myself for, then it's 12,000 words for newsletters for the year. Let's do that. Why not? Nonfiction, we'll just say newsletter, 1 session a week, and say 12,000 words for 2025. So then that's 2,000 words for January and February, and I'm already halfway on that one. Woo! Okay, step 2 done. We've set the goals up. Now I need to archive the writing modules that are in the writing tracker and set up the new ones for the next year. Okay, it's working now. It's working! You know, the from Star Wars? It's working. Okay. I just had to like remember all the relations I had set up. It's really not that complicated. There's just like 3 different relations for these 3 different things. Okay, this one isn't actually working because it's doing the percent. Oh, I missed a step. Everything else is working except the percent calculation right now. We have day since writing sessions working. We got the words written working except for the percentages, which I will fix later. Writing session count working. So everything's working except the percent. From future Lauren, a few minutes after I finished recording the whole video, I figured out the percent thing. This all words count property has to literally have every single page linked to it in order to get the total word count and make the formula work. So basically, when it says all words, it means all words. I should have written down instructions for myself last time because I remember vaguely having this problem when I set this up the first time. I need to either write down instructions for myself or come back to this video because that was more of a headache than it should have been. If you want a better detailed tutorial on this, let me know and I can do it, make a better video about it. Back to the video. Once this is figured out, this is how I want to organize the page. Like that. And then I'll have my days since up here, and then I'll have my words written ongoing trackers. And then I'll have my little buttons and reference pages. And I'll clean up this table. So this is how it's going to look. We're going to check off the archiving and the setup, which was more of a process than I thought it was going to be. The next step I wrote down is updating the space heist tracking page to reflect new sprint totals. So basically, I had this novel writing sprint system set up, which, oh my god, that's old, so that I'm tracking every 5,000 words as a benchmark. I don't know if I want the benchmark to change because I kind of like it being 5,000 words. And this is the same one on the public page that you can see right now. There's no way. Oh my god. Okay. I do need to update something on here. There's no way I'm finishing the first draft by March 1st of this year. There's no way. Based on what I just calculated, that's not happening. And that's in a perfect world if I do all of my writing sessions. Basically, I'm not gonna hit 70K until the end of the year. So my first draft deadline makes no sense. That's my goal for 2025, but that's on top of the 20-ish thousand words I already have. But I'm probably, 70,000 words is just a first draft deadline, and it's a sci-fi book, so it's gonna be longer than that. Probably in the end, because I tend to underwrite on the first draft. I just like do the dialogue and don't fill in the gaps that I need, which I'm gonna try and do that as I'm writing the novel because I've never written anything this long. The longest thing I've written is like 30,000 words for a fan fiction, and editing that after I had decided I underwrote it was really annoying, and it's going to be extra annoying for a novel. So basically, I want to go back and fix the underwriting problem as I'm going. The first draft deadline can't be March. Let's say November, for no logical reason. Because if my goal word count, I'm going to make it 80. Because it was 80, my goal word count was 80K last year, but I didn't get close to it, so I shaved it down so that way I could get there. However, if I already have 23,000 words on the novel, and we just figured out the math that I'm gonna hit 70, a little over 70,000 words if I do all my writing sessions this year. I'm definitely gonna hit 80K at some point this year. Let's just say November 1st. For fun. Hopefully it's sooner than that because I really want to share it, and I'm planning to publish it serially on my Patreon. So you can follow me on Patreon for free right now, so you can get all the updates on everything I'm researching for the novel, and you'll be the first to hear about the serial publishing plans. I like having these benchmarks, the 5,000 word benchmark, so that way, instead of thinking about the 80K and I'm only at 23,000 right now, which is overwhelming for me, I'm just thinking about getting to 25,000. And that's 2,000 words. I can do that in a writing session. I've done that before. So it's just much more approachable to me. And I'm not going to archive and update this because this database here is for the entire, all the book. It doesn't matter the dates on it. I just updated it live so you can see it down there in the description if you want to. So that's done. Everything's done on my 2024 goals, writing wrapped, and writing goals. So now my writing tracker is updated except for the percent thing. I'm really excited about this now. It's really, really cool to have the data from last year so I can have real estimates that are reasonable for my writing ethics. So if you want to stay updated on my writing journey, I'm going to be posting about that here on this channel, and also follow me on Patreon because I'm going to be posting stuff that I'm researching topics-wise for the novel, including like quantum computers. That's really important for this novel. Follow me on Patreon for free for some insights on the novel and other cool things over there. All right, well, that is this video. I'll see you around.